Hello, good morning and welcome to the virtual village hall. My name's Rachel from I Printed That, and today I'm going to be showing you a little printing technique that I like to call easy lithography. So you can do it very simply with a gel plate that I'm going to show you how to make using some equipment you've probably got in your kitchen cupboards, that you can buy from a chemist, that you can buy from your local supermarket. You also need black acrylic paint, a roller, and black and white glossy magazines, or pictures from black and white glossy magazines. So first of all, a little bit of history about lithography. So it comes from the Greek word litho, meaning stone, and graphene, to draw. And it works on the basis that water and oil do not mix. When this was invented back in the late 18th century, they would take a piece of very flat limestone, apply an image using a water repellent substance such as oil, fat, or wax. They then apply an acid solution, which would eat away at all the parts of the limestone that weren't protected with the water repellent substance. Then where it had been eaten away, that would then be able to retain moisture. They would apply an oil-based ink that would stick to the original image that they'd drawn, and then they could print hundreds and hundreds of texts, of brochures, of pamphlets, and of images. Still with me? Okay. Now, thankfully, I'm not going to ask you to go to your local cliff face and hew a piece of limestone. But what I am going to show you is how to make a gel plate, and we can use it in a very similar way. So I've got some basic equipment here that I'm going to show you. So my equipment is a bowl, a wooden spoon, and also a mould. So the mould needs to have a very flat base and be solid, and also be able to hold water or liquid. I've just got a cake tin lid, which works perfectly fine, but you could also use a baking tray. Have a rummage in your kitchen cupboards. There's bound to be something that you can use. So that's the basic equipment. Then I need a few little bits of ingredients. So I've got some leaf gelatine here. You need 20 leaves of leaf gelatine, and you need to soak it as per the manufacturer's instructions on the back of the label to rehydrate it. I've also got 200 ml of glycerin, that's from a chemist, and 250 ml of boiling water. So I'm going to show you how to make the gel plate. It's nice and quick. The bit that takes the time is the setting. So I'm just going to pop you down a bit so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so my gelatine has been soaking. So I just squeeze out the excess and add that to the bowl. Add my boiling water very, very slowly, because what you don't want is for air bubbles to appear in the mix. So I've just added a little bit. I'm going to start very slowly mixing. Add a little bit more. And slowly mix that so that all the gelatine has dissolved. Now, don't worry about writing this down. I've put a tutorial on my website on one of my blog posts. So if you go to my website, iprintedthat.com, and go to the February blog post, then you'll be able to see one that shows you how to make jelly plates. So next I add my glycerin. Again, very, very slowly, because we don't want to create those air bubbles. Just a little bit at a time. So nice and calmly, just mixing. Add a bit more. And just stir. So if you've just joined us, we're making lithography type prints today. And to do that, we need a gel plate. So I'm just mixing up 20 leaves of gelatine, 250 mils of boiling water, and 200 mils of glycerin. So once that's all together, I take my mould. Now, where you do this, please do it somewhere that's cool and so that you can leave it for a couple of hours to set. And then after 2 hours, when it's set, you'll be able to put it into the fridge. So I don't know if I mentioned, but do this very, very slowly so as not to create those air bubbles. Ooh. And you're looking at about a centimetre's thickness for your gel plate. The quantities that I've given you should make about size gel plate at a centimetre thick. If any bubbles do form on the surface, then all you need to do is just take a piece of paper and just skim them off. So that's the gel plate made. I'm going to leave that for 2 hours, as I said, in a cool place, and then put that in the fridge overnight to set, and then it's ready to use the next day. So how to use it to make lithography prints. I'm actually just going to pull that back in and I'll use that later. So how to make these prints. Once your gel plate is set, put it down a little bit further. You can see it. There we go. You take your black acrylic paint. Actually, before you do that, I'm going to tell you about the photos that you need to select. So the photos and images that you need to select come from Glossy magazines. It's something about the print process that they use that makes these ideal for this lithograph transfer type print. And what you're looking for is a contrast between the background and the foreground and between different parts of the images. You can use black and white, and you can also use colour. But again, you're looking for that deep contrast. So these are just some examples. So when you're looking through your magazines, you'll know which types to look for. Again, colour, but there's a good contrast. Text works extremely well too. And because it's a transfer print, this text will go on in reverse. And when you print it, it comes back the right way. So this is the print that I've decided to use today. Now, I'm slightly nervous about doing this live because it's a slightly temperamental print process, but I've got lots of paper, lots of acrylic, and I've got more images as well. So if this one doesn't work, I'll keep going until it does. Normally the ones that don't work, I get to scribble them away and no one sees, but you might get to see a non-print today, but we'll see how it goes. So you need to be prepared with your image, the paper that you're going to print onto, your acrylic paint, your gel pad, and your roller. So you apply just a small amount of the acrylic, and then using the roller, and I've got a squeaky one. Just means we got the squeaky one this morning. You apply, just roll the ink. That's a little bit too thick actually. Just let me take some of that off. So it needs to be quite a thin covering. Put the image face down, and then just lightly with your hands, just smooth over. Take off the image, and that would have transferred some of it to the gel plate. Put your piece of paper on top, and then a slightly firmer, just go over all the back with your hands, making sure that you've got contact with the plate and the ink. And paper. So then you peel off your paper, and that leaves you with your print. And hey presto, it worked. There's a slight bubble there, but I quite like that. It looks like sort of a vintage patina on a plate, on a photographic plate. So you don't just have to use the jelly plate for lithograph type prints. I did a session for the virtual village hall a few months back. I don't know if you might be able to go and find it, and that's showing you how to use your gel plate to create images a very, very different way. Images using feathers and also leaves, seed heads, layering up different colours, overlaying feathers and colours, getting some really almost photographic prints as well. So that's another way that you can use your gel plates. That was a lovely subtle one. I love those colours. And then another one slightly more graphic, using these different blues and greens and oranges, and getting some really photographic type prints off of that. So I hope that's inspired you to have a rummage in your kitchen cupboards at your local chemist and have a go at trying to make gel plate and go at making some of these lithograph type prints. I'm Rachel from I Printed That, and it's been an absolute pleasure showing you today how to do that. Take care, and I will see you another time. Bye.